tá bom? O meu foi meio mais ou menos. Ai, amigo, meu dia sempre é mais ou menos porque eu não tenho um emprego. Nós tinha falado tudo que tinha pra falar com ela ou nem? Nós não tinha nada.
Mas você tá deixando o jogo ligado. Mas pode meter a última quadra, você sabe.
Ah, tá. Vamos conversar com ela, que nós simplesmente não conversou nada. Lembra de baixar o som do game? Muito obrigada, amigo. Que bom que alguém tá trabalhando. Eu sempre aperto esse botão, não sei por que eu aperto esse, que é no automático. Alguém tá trabalhando nesse site. A voz pode ficar. Na verdade, a voz eu abaixava um tiquinzinho, né? Agora sim, perfeito. A tag também. A tag o Vinícius não mudou pra mim, o Vinícius não faz nada. Pera aí, gente, que vai ir pra tela do Elden Ring de novo. Enfim, né? Pronto. Agora está tudo certo, vamos lá. Conversar com Floreta. Onde nós parou ontem. Eu ia perguntar, mas eu acho que ela não fala nada, né? Ela não fala nada. Então nem precisa. Eu acho que ela tinha me dado alguma dica, não tinha, não? Ela me deu alguma coisa. Foi isso aqui, não foi? Vamos perguntar pelo pessoal. O pote com planta do lado da flora no fundo. Ah, é verdade, ela fala alguma coisa disso também.
Plant, balanced on the window ledge.
It's the only plant in the entire room.
Ela fala mais alguma coisa no quarto que eu lembro. Eu acho que era a pilha de livro mesmo. Vamos perguntar pra um de cada vez sobre isso aqui.
You get a good view of the lake from here.
These drawings are quite precious. I'm surprised Flora let you see them.
What happened to the bird? Did it die?
I don't know. Seems likely though, doesn't it?
Será que a Penélope sabe alguma coisa? Porque ela gosta de passarinho, né?
Penélope charmosa?
Caralho, ele cortou, você viu?
Que é isso? A Penélope é um homem pássaro? Um homem pássaro?
Não, ela usa luvas, né? Ué, eu não mostrei tudo o resto pra Penélope,
It's
não?
that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad.
Ela não fala muita coisa.
I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though.
Já vou
Goodness
aproveitar.
me. Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it.
Perguntar tudo de uma vez, já estamos aqui.
Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue. Oh, that's rather sad. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you
Oi?
think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her.
Olha.
Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time.
Eu acho que não foi a
As a young
Penélope.
child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable.
Ela só tem raiva mesmo é da Pop e do Fitz. Poucas ideias.
Terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene.
É muito brega.
A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of
Vou
oneself,
apostar
isn't
que a
it?
cartinha da ROXO é uma possibilidade, né?
If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind.
Ah, ela dá a dica.
Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes.
É, meu filho, ela é poucas ideias.
Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least.
Até agora, o que eu mais
Sometime before Fiona
suspeito de
settled on
todo
her
mundo, assim,
current
tirando minhas opiniões
style.
pessoais, é a Pop. Ela tem todos os motivos, ela não gostava da Freya.
I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew. Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent. I don't know what that is.
Aliás, quando voltar na Torre da Flora, olha o teto. Teto?
Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
A gente tem que descobrir quem quebrou esse copo também e
I
escondeu
can't
ali.
decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea.
E por que que ninguém fala que a Pop era assim, mano? Ela ameaçou todo
Looks a
mundo?
little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? I thought she was a grade 12 or something.
I didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her. Lovely.
Deixa eu ver, falta o besourito.
Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
Ui, tô caindo.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Ela que gostava de
Noted.
insetos.
Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
A tradução ficou excelente. Ah não, eu já fui aqui. Vamos com a Fifi rapidão. Que eu vou perguntar a todo mundo sobre essa carta. Carta não, o desenho. Você conhece
Freya
esse
drew
desenho?
these,
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the back.
but she never showed them to me.
Tem uma nota
Well, I think
atrás?
it was a gift for your mother, like a private thing between Freya and Flora.
Tem escrito atrás? Cadê? Ah, é pra você com amor, Freya. Nem tem Célia aqui, menino.
É, a personagem que tá andando do lado do demônio. Qual é o nome dela?
Ai, ai, o Vinícius tá aqui só pra me incomodar mesmo. Não, ele eu já mostrei. Vamos falar com a ROXO e mostrar ela também?
Does Flora still own that bird? Do you know?
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I
Aí
see.
eles falam que é de um ano atrás. Esse passarinho morreu recentemente. Eu acho que a ROXO tava aqui atrás do passarinho, tá? Porque o pássaro é raro. Era o último da espécie e ela tinha um filhote. Eu acho que ela tava atrás do passarito.
Did Freya draw these?
Yeah.
Não, fui eu.
There's a note on the back, too.
She was even closer to Flora than I realized.
Vou mostrar pra Pop.
How sweet.
Falta só o pointer agora. Ele foi o que... Já, né, besta? Nossa, é verdade. Por que você falou isso, desgramado?
Porque eu vi que você tá suspeitando de várias pessoas aí.
Não, ó, todo mundo aqui é suspeito porque praticamente um monte de gente tem um motivo e todo mundo parece que mentiu no depoimento.
E agora você vai pensar, e se for expresso por
A very old statue indeed. I'd recommend you leave it well alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is.
Tu mostrou o relatório de morte pra ROXO? Por quê? Menos a Flora? Não, pode ter sido a Flora também. Ué. Todo
Isn't
mundo é
the
suspeito, até
process
que eu
of
acho o verdadeiro
decay
culpado.
fascinating?
It's not really decaying. It's plastic.
It's becoming one with nature, all the same.
quero beber um chazinho aqui, peraí. Delicioso.
Where on earth did you find that?
É
It
seu?
was in a bush outside. I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar. Here's a thought. Do you suppose the paintbrush could be the murder weapon? After all, it was found at the scene, right next to Freya's body.
I guess it's possible.
O dossiê talvez ela dê alguma dica, já que ela é uma investigadora também. Dá pra tentar, mas eu acho que ela não vai falar nada.
I find that painting to be in rather bad taste.
É uma
Oh, yeah?
pena.
The knife with real blood on it? The whole thing is rather vulgar. Pointer property originally, purloined by the fellows. Typical. I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well, possessions are fleeting, my friends.
Tem.
This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic
Esse homem
license.
também é meio suspeito.
This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know. These were drawn by Freya. She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
Poppy's two closest friends. Freya
Ih.
looks so innocent there.
Inclusive, eu não entendi nada do diário da Freya, né? É uma questão. O cabelo do cara é um telhado? Uai, o que você tem contra o corte por
Freya was well
telhado?
acquainted with the abstract, I'll say
Velho
that
chato?
much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big
Telhado de
red
cuia.
thing.
É um
What a
telhado
fascinating
colonial.
interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
Acho que a única pessoa que todo mundo gosta é a Freya. Poucas ideias a Freya, né? Ela
That's a
não...
very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put. A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
Esse aqui é
How do you
conversadeiro,
know
né?
it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary. What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see? It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Aqui.
Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Hã?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me. Curious creature, isn't it? Some
Esse
sort of
copo-
amphibious bipedal fishman.
Esse
Playing
copo
a
tá me deixando
trumpet.
encucada.
Playing a trumpet, yes. What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Aí, ó.
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either.
Ninguém
Oh,
fala que
my.
é ela, mano.
This is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the piano. Primrose, that is Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother.
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything, Poppy still has it up on her wall. I've seen those earmuffs
A mãe
before.
dela também
They're the
morreu.
ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears.
Whenever I've seen him, yes. I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue. That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it?
Eram
But
4.
then, aren't we all trapped in a cage?
Isso também é uma coisa que a gente tem que lembrar. Eram 4 pássaros que ela fala, mas um deles não
What
tá
kind
ali.
of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
Esse cara é pai?
Well now, that is most
Ele é
definitely
pai da
none of
gótica.
my business. Quite possibly none of yours either.
Tudo da minha
So,
conta, meu filho.
we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
Verdade, eu achei esse trem aqui.
Curious little thing, isn't it? Do you know what she hides?
É que não tem como eu
Keeps in
fazer
there?
pressão neles, né?
Nothing. At the moment.
Não tem
It
como eu
was
mandar
empty
um
when we opened it.
objection.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
A Penélope cita o passarinho que não tá mais aí, era o último da espécie. Ela fala que era da Flora.
Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora's?
Aí, ó.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Só que aí é que tá, todo mundo sabia que o passarinho era da Flora. Alguém passou a mão nesse pássaro. O último da espécie, muito dinheiro. Alguém passou a mão nesse pássaro. O que eu queria olhar mesmo? Acho que era com a Fifi.
Eu adoro ele. É o meu design favorito.
Ah, não, eu mostrei. Eu não mostrei, foi isso aqui pra
An
ela. Por
item
quê?
from Poppy's childhood. Her earliest piano lessons hold some special significance for her.
Why's that?
No idea. She has never graced me with the details, and I am not forthcoming enough to ask.
You two
Quero ir
are
no quarto
friends,
da
right?
Freia.
We
É
are,
isso.
yes.
But
Aqui do nada voltou a stream,
It is
caiu.
clear to me now that Poppy has become tired of my
Oh,
company.
Vinícius.
is it anything to do with Freya?
Normal.
Oh, no. The changes in Poppy's mood have nothing to do with Freya. Her concerns simply lie elsewhere.
Eu tenho que descobrir também o que tinha errado. A Freia. Ai. Esse é o quarto de quem? Esse é o da Freia. Caiu não, aqui tá normal. É o Otávio, então. É isso aqui, ó.
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for
Tem
keeping
como
insects.
olhar, não? Pô.
That's weird.
What did you find in the drawers?
Nothing. They're completely empty.
Não, isso eu já vi também.
Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Babadux foi foda.
Do you think this was always supposed to be a bedroom?
I don't know. It is.
No windows either.
Tá repetindo. Acho que não tem nada mesmo, não.
That's
I
no
like it.
É.
Not the kind of lamp I choose.
It's cool. Looks like old mining.
Não, não tem nada aqui, não. Você disse que queria ver o teto, né? Tem um
We're
olho.
at the top of the tower, right?
I think so. Why?
Doesn't matter. It's nothing.
Tem um olho aqui, ó. É... Sim, arrombar a porta. Eu tenho que descobrir dessa harpa. Vamos ver aqui. Eu não sei, o diário dela tá meio esquisito. Ó, ela faz o... Ela consegue fazer o puzzle da harpa.
I'm still not sure about this thing.
É.
Should we take another look?
Mano, é muito esquisito. Mas aí é que tá, os outros tudo repete e só aqui tem um diferente, ó. O pássaro, o piano, a boca e o sino.
Let's come back later.
Mas tá faltando alguma coisa, não deixa nem eu fazer o puzzle. Talvez a solução tá no quarto dela. Pô, mas eu revirei o quarto dela. Eu já tinha olhado
It's a bird
também.
bath. Is that just rainwater? Looks a little weird.
The birds seem to like it.
They're even singing a little tune. Toot, 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 toot.
Just like me.
Please don't do that.
Que isso?
What are they?
Wind chimes.
Ah, são sinos.
Silent wooden wind chimes.
Tem que ser no quarto dela, gente. Tem alguma coisa faltante. O ok caiu. Por que isso
Looks
aqui
like
tá
someone
assim?
tried to chop it down, but then gave up.
Can you blame them?
Aqui tem FFPP de novo. A estátua também
Do
a
you think
gente
he'll
já
start to
viu.
move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll just silently judge us.
Aqui tem uma luz esquisita, né?
A path leading towards the stone square.
Ah, tá. Aqui é só outro caminho pra praça. Que no caso é aqui, ó. Dá mais uma olhada aqui também. Ó, Fellow Pointer.
A door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room.
Não tem como entrar na
It's not
biblioteca.
Finally, we get to investigate a murder in a spooky mansion.
It's not that spooky, really.
Don't ruin this.
Falar nisso, tem mais coisa na estufa? Mas não olhou tudo, não? Eu acho que tá faltando algum puzzle. Eu acho que eu deixei... Eu vi na live do Alan, traidor maldito, descarado, duas caras.
Tools. Used by a gardener for gardening.
O que é isso aqui?
This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is definitely not edible.
It looks like a gemstone,
Ó,
don't you think?
vaso de fruta. Uma fruta envasada com casca dura. Lembrando uma pedra preciosa. A terra no vaso possui uma incomum cor azul. Olha o backseat. Não, backseat é você falar a resposta, né?
All the flowers here look kind of poisonous.
Can flowers be poisonous?
Anything can be poisonous.
Good to know.
Falando nisso, isso aqui também... Pra que
A little
serve?
chart of... actually, I have no idea what it's about.
Não, é só
Kind of
isso aqui.
reminds me of a periodic table.
Ela dá aqui, pelo menos vai caber aqui embaixo.
Será que isso aqui que é o que define a harpa? Mas não faz nem sentido. Tem uns números, ó. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Não. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 e 7.
Forma uma palavra, segue a ordem e forma apenas as letras e junta elas de acordo com o número. O primeiro é pi, então é P.
E o que é isso aqui?
Isso é gama.
Isso aqui.
Isso é aquele...
E esse? E esse aqui? E esse aqui? E esse? Então não é assim, né, gente?
Claro que é. Todos esses são letras.
Todo puzzle tem que ter a resposta dentro do jogo.
Mas todos esses símbolos são letras. Talvez tenha algum lugar que tenha uma tradução dessas letras.
E eu não tenho
What do you
lugar pra
make of it?
usar.
Not a whole lot.
Não, mas algumas a gente sabe, entendeu?
Mas isso aqui não é um puzzle. Não, não é uma tabela pendurada aqui no salão.
Ah, tá. Não tem como você interagir.
Bags of soil.
É isso que você quer dizer? Você interagir trocando de lugar, trocando...
It's so blue.
É alguma coisa que começa com a...
Tools. Used by a gardener for gardening.
Perguntar a ele da planta.
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gemstony.
Ai, meu cabelo tá me
Sometimes.
incomodando.
You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny and edible fruit?
You look at it.
Que lindo ficar olhando fruta. Revolucionário, eu diria. Ah, mas eu não posso ficar com o cabelo assim, minha testa é muito grande. Vou ter que prender. Eu tô tentando ao máximo não jogar minhas costas pra trás. Pronto. Nem sei porque que eu tô tentando arrumar o cabelo, eu não consigo enxergar por causa da luz na minha cara. Ai, não, muito melhor, tava muito quente. Quem que queria que eu mostrasse o quê? Eu vou mostrar esses dois aqui também, porque eu já...
Who gave you that information?
Well...
Eu
We don't
mesmo.
actually know who it was. We were contacted anonymously.
Foi uma
I see.
denúncia anônima.
And what happens if the person who contacted you turns out to be the murderer?
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
Esse twist já foi feito no outro filme que eu
Nice
vi esses
painting.
dias,
Gives you a
então...
pretty good idea of the layout.
The lake looks like it forms a perfect circle around the island.
It might seem strange to you, but nature is quite capable of producing perfectly geometric forms.
And those mountain cliff things around the outside?
We don't know much about them. They're unscalable. Not even Freya could have gone up there.
What's that?
This painting, it's speculative. There are no photographs from this angle as far as I know.
So Freya just made it up.
Ah, foi ela
Let's
que
call
fez
it
essa
an
pintura.
informed estimation.
Vamos lá. O Shock Show. O que
The
você tem a
people here are
dizer sobre isso?
surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Agora que deu uma
Growing this fruit
caidinha.
simply because it produces a gemstone-like
Tipo,
material.
questão de segundos,
For
assim, ó.
what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth? You truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
Uai, eu organizei
That's
então.
my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint. Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower.
Tem duas
It's
torres.
little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that.
Eu ainda
I
acho que
was
tem
disappointed too.
uns caminhos secretos aqui sim e o assassino sabe. O que eu tinha? Ah, sim, eu estou mostrando fruta pra todo mundo. Você já viu essa fruta?
Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that.
Como é que você
There's
sabe?
something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body.
Moça, e como é que eu
And
vou
there's only
saber o
one
que isso
small
tem a
pool of
ver?
blood. Nothing on Freya's hands or anywhere else.
Tem
The
um
whole
alçapão.
thing is just a little too...
Já faz o seguinte, o cara veio, deu uma facada nela e pulou pra dentro do alçapão, por isso que não tem sangue em lugar nenhum.
So there are two families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't
All
one.
blue.
Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the fellows and the pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Isso aí é
Where's your mother
interessante.
No idea.
Então a casa é só da Flora. Ela deixa os caras viver ali, mas a casa é delas. Isso aí é interessante, é um bom motivo agora.
Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible too, I think.
Yes. At one point I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. You know, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you?
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my Fitz, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Ninguém tem
Well,
herança.
Thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no. Any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
Na verdade, a gente fala dos pointers, nós não tem direito a coisa nenhuma.
Finally! I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Well, only last week I asked that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist.
O Roxo não tem graça mesmo não, sinceramente. Vamos falar com o Pointer só pra ele ficar irritado, né? Vou adorar estressar ele.
So which one is Tangle Tower?
What's that?
There are 2 towers, right? Flora's tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named
Que
the
isso,
house?
amiga? Poucas?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous little unit, you see. I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade.
O que prova que ela não é
Not
mudinha.
exactly a wealth of information, is it?
It's enough.
Todo mundo julga meu
Fitz seems
dossiê,
rather
mano.
keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all.
Que é bonito, pô. Foi tudo... Só um minuto. Deixa eu só dar uma checada mais nesse quarto.
A spyglass to the stars.
They're in very good condition.
Os objetos ficam aparentes no cenário,
Não, não destaca pra saber qual que você pode clicar. O que eu peguei? Fruta, vaso. Opa!
Charming, isn't it? Yes. Built by the Remington family originally. Dear Flora's father and his
Olha o chão do quarto da Poppy.
associates.
O
But
quarto
now
da
it's owned by
Poppy.
you? By the fellow family?
The Fellows and the Pointers have both come to claim a certain degree of ownership.
And who named it Tangle Tower?
Flora chose the name.
What does it mean?
I think
Tangle
it was
Tower.
her intention that it mean nothing at all. Something of a fresh start.
From what?
This really isn't for me to say, but she had some kind of disagreement with her siblings. After they moved away, Flora changed the name of the house. I think perhaps she hoped it would make them feel unwelcome, yes, less likely to come back.
That's kind of extreme.
Ainda bem.
Yes, it is rather, isn't it?
É isso aqui, ó.
That looks like it might belong to Fitz. What's this?
It's my case file. It's how I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
You mean to say you're bound by the limits of what's written in this little document? Sounds dreadful.
I found it comforting.
Nós temos que fazer alguma coisa pra Flora falar, mano. A mulher viu tudo, por que ela não me conta?
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Bonito
Oh, it's
lugar.
impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family.
É
This makes
verdade.
me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her.
É verdade, né? Ela é a dona, ela é a única herdeira da casa inteira, mano. Olha, eu não mostrei
This
isso aqui pra
belongs
ela,
to
não.
Professor Pointer, does it not?
No, I don't think so.
Who else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has a telescopic lens. It could only be used for looking at things that are far away. I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell.
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene.
Apart from the one in the painting.
Which, as a mere
No,
abstract
é
representation,
fato.
does not count. Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife.
E essa
The fruit
frutinha?
here has a unique chemical makeup. It makes them completely pointless. Unless you wish to cut it down and sell it as a precious stone.
It's not edible.
Depends.
On what?
On the structural integrity of your teeth.
Essa mulher só quis ficar calada, tem que ser ela daquele... Tem que jogar ela daquele quarto. Ela é antissocial, qual que é o problema? Tem o mesmo olhinho aqui.
Ah, yes, a giant symbol drawn in chalk on the floor. Always a good omen.
It's an eye.
It's an eye.
More handwritten sheet music. More handwritten sheet music. More handwritten sheet music.
Aqui não tem mais nada, tá ligado?
Empty. That is the bed of a vampire.
I thought
também
vampires
achei.
slept in coffins.
This is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back. That is the bed
I
of
thought
a
vampires
This is a
slept-
vampire who needs firm support. Oh, thank goodness, there are 7 lit candles. Wouldn't want it to be dark in here.
Abre o
Anything in
guarda-roupa
the
dela aí.
wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. I never realized there were so many shades of black. Gloomy.
But roomy.
Nada.
It's open.
O que era pra ter no chão, piso,
A little pond.
que tá
It
quebrado.
looks really. See those metal bars around the edges too?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing. And he looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered.
Ah, a little water feature.
It's making me sleep.
Wonder how it's hooked up.
More egg statues.
I don't get it. Why eggs?
Well, either they have some special significance, or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has
Ah,
got to
isso
be
nós
the
já ouviu
easy.
também. Gente, eu quero saber da estátua lá fora. Como que eu vou resolver aquelas estátuas? A estátua lá fora é o secret. A única coisa que falta é mostrar pra Flora mesmo. Vou mostrar tudo pra ela por desencargo da minha consciência.
Did you ask Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that you're holding in the painting, Flora? Some people have been saying it's a knife.
Eu não lembro que personagem que ela me lembra, mano.
What do you think of
Ela é
your
muito
husband's hobby?
familiar.
Do you have any hobbies?
Cadê teu passarinho?
You haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you?
Opa. Essa mulher não fala, ela
This
fala
is a
assim.
photo of Fifi, isn't it? Your daughter? Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
Se eu não me engano, o livro é dela, né?
I really thought she was gonna say something there.
Não, vou mostrar tudo, vai que... Eu já tô indo no automático já.
Do you recognize any of these feathers?
Só que nenhuma dessas peninhas
Do
é
you
igual
know
do
anything about
pássaro
these
dela.
birds? Or birds in general? Do you know anything about this beetle?
Esse besouro
Flora,
também.
this is your egg? Why do you keep it locked?
Is there
Lucky.
supposed to be something in there? Or is it always empty?
Meu Deus, gente, não sei
I
mais o
like
que
these
fazer.
drawings, Flora.
Is there a reason why you wanted us to see them?
Então dá a dica aí, moça. Manda uma dica pro pai. Mostrei tudo, né? Ainda tem muita gente que eu tenho que liberar o cadeado. Deixa eu conferir o que eu tenho. O passarinho me pegou. Opa. Eu sempre aperto ali, mano. Eu quero apertar aqui, ó. É porque tá faltando no mínimo mais 2 aqui, ó. Então tem algum lugar que eu tenho que explorar melhor.
Freya's painting supplies.
Opa. Ah, nós pode pegar as tintas. Potinhos de tinta amarela, azul, preta e branca. Os potes de vidro estão todos rachados de um lado. Aí, ó. E tá faltando mais um agora. Dá mais uma vasculhada no quarto, mas eu acho que não é aqui mais.
Freya's painting supplies.
É a mesma coisa. Não tem mais nada que destaca do cenário também, não. Dele eu também acho que eu olhei tudo, né?
A hammock. It's kind of worn out.
I would politely describe it as lived in.
Looks like Freya's paints.
Do you know why the pots are cracked down one side?
No, that's very odd. They're normally in excellent condition.
E são todos,
You seem
né?
pretty sure about that.
Ai! Nós abrimos esse baú, sim.
We already solved it.
Viu? Tinha as miniaturas. Dá mais uma olhadinha no quarto da Fifi também. Eu só entrei aqui uma vez e fui embora.
Crystal chandeliers. Extra.
I don't know. They just seem old-fashioned to me. Plus, they're kind of
Que é isso
dusty.
aqui?
A new suspect. Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise.
Save it for the judge. What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just
É,
a
o
bunch
da
of
Fifi
notes
só
about her
tinha os
microbiology
negócios.
experiments.
What's that big
Looks
book?
like
Is
something.
it
It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology.
scientific formulas, probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea what any of it means.
Não, o da Fifi só tinha aquilo mesmo.
Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too was blood, not paint.
Ai, tem sangue aqui
A whole
dentro.
pot full of blood?
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
Yeah, but still. Doesn't that freak
Tô
you out?
caindo, pô.
No. In fact, it may be considered rather reassuring.
Um pote cheio de sangue? Por quê? Isso aqui eu também não mostrei pra ela.
What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues. What a mess. Penelope should tidy up after herself.
These weren't dropped by Penny. They were dropped by birds, I think.
My argument stands. I am scared of birds.
Why?
Sério?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh,
Aqui, essa
Why
aqui.
did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be?
Foi tudo? Acho que foi, né? Nem sei porque que eu ainda falo com a ROXO, ela tá aqui à toa. Eu tenho que descobrir quem que é o mandante dela.
Paints.
Mm-hmm.
Ô, Feliz, o que você tem a dizer sobre essa
Paints
tinta?
are different to flowers.
I'd say so, yeah.
At any time, flowers can bloom with perfect, faultless colors. Red, blue, white. With paint, once you've tainted a color by mixing it with others, not even the most skilled painter can return it to its pure form.
Falou bobagem, né, meu amigo? Ele foi tudo também, eu tô caindo, pô. A Pop. É sempre a Pop a mais suspeita. Tá sempre envolvida.
Oh, whatever it is, it's playing a little trumpet.
Well, it is the music room. He's gotta practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
É a mesma coisa. Mas só tem ele mesmo aqui.
Sheet music.
That's a lot of notes.
Probably why they're on the floor. There's a faded mural on the wall.
When I was a kid, I never knew the difference between a mural and a mosaic.
You still don't know, do you?
No.
Aqui só tem ele mesmo. Será que as
Are
lanterninhas é alguma
they
coisa?
paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
It's one of those big pianos with the open lids.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Vamos perguntar a ela.
Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Também quero saber.
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff.
Ai, que sono. Só tem 3 passarinhos aqui. Aqui tá com a página arrancada, né?
Freya doesn't take very good care of her paints, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian.
Uai.
Had her own priorities.
Agora uma já falou um trem diferente de todo mundo.
What's with those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Oh,
Falta só o pointer. Ah, não, falta o pai dela também, né? Não tem mais nada nesse cômodo. Ele ocupa o espaço de 2 quartos, porque provavelmente ele é grande. Para os pássaros voarem.
Is this important?
Possibly.
Tem como olhar o...
every astronomy tower needs a telescope.
I want to try.
Opa.
It's the tower opposite this one.
Is that a window?
I think it is.
Que quarto é esse?
Is there another room above Flora's room?
We should check that next time we're over there.
Vamos voltar lá.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up.
Na verdade, parece que ela tá olhando pra frente.
Behind her is the backside of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting.
Inclusive, daria pra ver a Freya assim, ó. Ela ficaria bem aqui, ó. Ela não estaria tampada pelo quarto.
I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle. I can just about see the gramophone.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off? In the wind.
Maybe it's
Na
glued
verdade, eu
down.
me pergunto, cadê os vidros pra fechar de noite, pra não chover dentro do quarto? Vamos lá olhar esse quarto, pelo amor
Isn't
de
this
Deus.
supposed to be an astronomy telescope?
Então, tô olhando pro quarto da Flora.
I'm pretty sure you need to see the sky for astronomy to work.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
Suspect.
There's something about Pointer's astronomy habits.
Finalmente,
Something
mais um suspeito.
suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
Nós vamos perguntar ele agora, nós vamos.
So,
Senhor, o senhor está
Professor,
observando uma mulher casada
what
por
interests you
quê?
about astronomy exactly?
Se explique agora.
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
Você descobriu que tem um meteoro a caminho da Terra. Você não gosta de
You're not
astronomia?
really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
Agora talvez isso aqui seja dele mesmo. Deixa eu ver.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
Vamos lá. O telescópio do Pointer estava olhando para a cena do crime. E não para o céu.
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
Que gostava de insetos.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around. Both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into
Me
the
too.
room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
Isso muda
No,
seu
everything I
depoimento.
told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Da onde você tirou isso aí? Veio
Maybe
de
we should
graça.
go back and check. And we could have missed something.
Não, vamos lá, já que você insiste. Tirou de graça aquela ali. Foi alguma coisa no jardim ou foi com Deus? Opa, isso aqui tava aqui antes, gente?
This wasn't here before.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
O que tá escrito? Quê? Um brinquedo de madeira, uma camada de tinta escura está sob uma tela de vidro. Esse é meu novo amigo, ele gosta de música, melodias simples comoverão sua alma. Boa sorte aos dois, Freya. Meu Deus, o fantasma da mulher tá falando comigo. Aham. E tem como eu selecionar o caranguejo?
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well,
It's a perfect match.
well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Tem um fantasma ajudando a
Let's
gente.
keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
Talvez seja pra harpa. Não fui eu, hein? Negócios pendentes. Meu Deus, que esquisito. Ele gosta de música. Tem 2 lugares, peraí. Não é os símbolos da harpa? Eu acho que não, porque tá meio esquisito, mas peraí. Olha, ó. Opa, 1. Então eu tenho que achar 4. O outro com certeza é com a Pop. A gente pode pedir ela pra tocar essa daqui, ó.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Será que funciona com o sapinho? Beleza. Mais uma do piano. Ah, na harpa então tem a dica de quem sabe as músicas. Não, deixa eu voltar lá e ver então. O piano.
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
Um foi os pássaros, o outro foi o piano, o outro é um beijinho e o outro é um sino.
Let's come back later.
Tem sino em algum lugar? Um beijinho e um sino. Mano, um beijinho e um sino. Mas isso não muda? Não muda o quê? Peraí. Sininho... Ah, não, mas não mexe.
Wind chimes, silent. Wooden wind chimes.
É, os sinos daqui não mexem.
This little boat is the only
What
way.
a comforting thought.
Tem um sino aqui, ó. Mas isso não muda na harpa? Não, aquilo ali é o padrão. Você muda os outros símbolos. Consegui mais um. Mas o que é o beijinho? Será que tem algum lugar daqui? Eu não lembro de outro lugar que faça muito
It's a
barulho.
big glass tube.
There are weeds in there.
It's an aquarium?
Could be, except there's nothing living in it anymore.
Pode ser alguém? É, mas quem, né? Talvez uma das meninas, né?
There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message engraved on it?
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off.
Tem que pensar no último. Ô, cacete de agulha. Calma. Quem pode ter o último? Ah, peraí. Toda hora eu aperto esse botão, mano. Tá me deixando estressada.
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts. Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing suit.
Não, não. Não lembro de mais ninguém, mano. Será que é no quarto de alguém? Opa! O quarto liberou. É o sótão. Tem umas coisas sombrias por aqui, né? Que da hora.
Just dusty junk.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
Opa.
What is that?
Not sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
É pro telescópio, não é não? Bagulhete de carretel. Um carretel de latão com um parafuso em cima. Enrolado no carretel um pedaço de corda vermelha. Será que ele fez igual o 007, veio do teto, esfaqueou ele e subiu?
It's a jar. The head screws off.
Huh. Just dusty junk.
Não tem um puzzle aqui, sério?
Someone painted out the window.
Do you think it was done recently?
No idea. Either way, it's pretty suspicious.
Eu acho que eu peguei tudo aqui, ó. Peguei todos. Isso aí não aguenta uma pessoa? Não fizemos o teste pra saber. Eu já sei qual que é o último, sim. Tem que ser esse aqui. Mas e aí? Qual parte? Eu lembro que alguém sussurra nesse aqui, não é? Ou não era? Alguém sussurra nesse aqui. Ou é nesse aqui? Não, vamos esperar, né? Aqui, ó, na paz de Deus, ó. Mas esse é muito grande.
It's piano music.
Não, isso eu já vi. Então não é. Tem que ser esse, então. Vou esperar, né? Fazer o quê? Tô no aguardo aqui, ó. Foi? Não. Foi? Não. E agora? Não. Foi?
Weird.
Não.
It's someone humming
Opa!
a tune.
Eu sou um gênio.
That's all 4 melodies, I think.
So, what do we do with them?
Should we go back to the gardens again?
Mais tarde, rapidão. Nós vai ter que falar com todo mundo do carretel de linha lá que eu achei, né? Que eu não sei o que vai dar.
We don't know. We were really hoping you would.
My friends, shed your hope and let it fall free like sandbags from a hot air balloon.
That's the most depressing idiom I've ever heard.
Não sei, vai que alguém se delita aí, né? Se entrega pro crime, nunca se sabe.
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it. And besides, I would have no use for such a thing.
É
Perhaps
verdade.
it could be used to hang wet laundry?
Was that a joke?
Yes.
Ela pensou bem. Até parece, nunca se sabe, vai. Vai que a pessoa descuida, dobra a língua ali, opa.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
É uma
It
linha.
looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
I don't know what that is.
É uma
Me
linha,
neither.
pô.
Me 3. Oh, sorry. I thought you said me too.
Calma que tá acabando.
Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic.
É a mais suspeita mesmo, pelo amor de Deus.
Is that for sewing?
Maybe?
We have no idea.
Acho que ninguém sabe, não. Ou ninguém vai admitir que usou, né? Pra vir o 007.
What's this? Is it a clue?
We don't actually know. but Grimoire picked it up, so
É
now
uma
he has
pista
to pretend
sim,
it
tá?
is.
That's how it works.
Vamos lá no Jardine? É esse aqui, ó.
Let's try this again.
Oi, fica escrito aqui, graças
You
a
know, I
Deus.
think we might be able to solve this now.
Uai, se eu não conseguir também, né? Aí é foda, né, moleque? Foda. Mas e aí?
That's gotta be right.
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
Não. Ah, sim, claro. Quebramos a casa. Seria impossível lembrar esses desenhos estranhos aí? É, não, assim.
Are we
Eu teria que
gonna go
voltar
in?
dentro do menu.
Yeah,
A gente vai entrar.
but there's a couple of things I want to do first.
Eu tenho que concluir a suspeita para todos os suspeitos. Nossa! E fale com a Sally.
That's all the statements
Não,
collected.
tá faltando uma aqui então, ó. Quem que eu não tenho? Deixa eu ver os casos. Da Flora eu tenho, né? Se eu não me engano. Eu acho que eu não tenho. Do Félix, da Fifi, da ROXO, do Fitz e da... Não, é só eles. Da Pop e da Penny eu tenho, do Pointer também. O Fitz. É, o Fitz eu também não tenho. A Fifi eu... Ah, é, a Fifi eu tenho o diário. O Félix eu tenho? Não tenho. Eu testei tudo com ele também. O que que tá aqui dentro, então?
A pencil drawing of a mountain on a moonlit night.
Mood.
An old wooden mask.
Probably cursed. The entire room is made of wood.
Oh, it's not just made of wood. I think it's the actual hull of a ship.
The entire room is made of wood.
Como vamos desbloquear, tem que ter alguma coisa no lugar ou alguma pessoa. Às vezes pode ser uma pessoa também que te dá a dica. Ô, ROXO, eu acho que eu não falei com você, não. Isso aqui pode ser seu, filha. Ah, não, eu falei.
A wooden trunk that opens up into a full desk.
I want one.
We already solved it.
É, me deu isso aqui. Tá faltando a
It's a
cabeça
sea
disso aqui.
serpent, turned into stone by a wizard.
Ah, if you say so. What happened to its head?
Beheaded by the same wizard.
É o Fitz, a ROXO e o Félix. O resto tudo eu consegui. A Flora foi o desenho, a Fifi foi o diário, a Pop foi a fita e a Penélope foi a suspeita dela do caso. Mas o que eu vou acusar o Fitz? Além dele ser um otário, mano.
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have magic powers.
Tem que ter alguma coisa no lugar.
Bit of a decadent flooring choice for a greenhouse.
Alguma coisa que fala que eles mentiram do depoimento. Mas o quê? eu dar uma conversada com a Flora. Ô, Flora, você quer falar pro pai sobre isso aqui?
Do you know what this is?
Guess not.
Não, tudo bem, então.
The
Eu
attic's
respeito.
directly above us, right?
Yeah.
Acho que eu não deixei passar nada no sótão. Ai, meu areia tá coçando.
It's a statue of a wolf,
Da hora, né?
standing up straight, like a man.
You know there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
Meu Deus, é horrível. O olho no quarto da Pop não é o mesmo que no quarto da Flora? Sim, mas eu já olhei os dois olhos e não tem nada neles. Ele só fala, pô, creep, né? Calma, será que ele comenta alguma coisa da rachadura?
Where's that light coming from?
No, it's just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those
Opa.
floorboards.
Dava pra ver a... Ver não. Dá direto no lugar.
Is that what I think it is?
Sabe uma faca aqui, tá ligado? Vup, e depois você puxa de volta. Então a pessoa tava escondida no sótão. Faz sentido. Ele se escondeu no sótão. E aí ele sai quando não tem ninguém no quarto, só a Flora, e finge que já tava lá. Mas agora, como vou provar isso?
Puffer fish?
Yes. It's also a lamp, for some reason.
Ele não tem nada pra eu conversar, mano. O Fito, eu também não tenho nada. Aquele caco de vidro. Ela também tem. Aquele caco de vidro.
It's bigger in here than I thought it would be. It's bigger in here than I thought. Is that fruit?
Too shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing a little too.
Safe to eat, do you think?
I'm gonna say no. Hanging baskets. They're so high up.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2 inches taller than me.
2 inches makes all the difference.
A little chart of...
Ui, foi mal, espirrei.
Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
Tem alguma coisa a ver com isso aqui? Tem que ser. É a única coisa nesse cômodo.
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
Sim, mas o que a gente
Greek
faz com
letters,
isso?
I think. Greek letters, I think.
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table. Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
Tem que ter alguma coisa a ver com isso aqui, porque é a única coisa
What do
nesse
you make of
quarto.
it?
Not a whole lot.
It's bigger in here than I thought it would be. This one's in a little
Okay,
box.
that is definitely not it.
It looks like a gemstone.
Não, isso é pra
Don't you
ver.
think?
Nós usamos esse papel pra fazer nada. Que papel?
Tools. Used by a gardener. For gardening.
Ah, você diz a tabela? Nada. Ela tá aqui, mas eu não tenho o que fazer com ela.
It's bigger in here than I thought it would be.
pensando. É o Félix, o Fitz e a ROXO. Onde que eles mentiram, mano?
You ever see a
Not in real life.
A giant glowing gemstone full of plants.
AKA a greenhouse.
ROXO, fala pra mim onde que você tá mentindo, por favor. Confesse para o pai.
There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message engraved on it?
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off.
It's Tangle Tower. Or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle Tower.
Aquela
Hi.
estátua. Acho que nós empacamos. Eu tenho que descobrir o que tem de errado. Não, não queria vir aqui, não. Vou ter que descobrir qual que é o depoimento. Eu preciso dele pra fazer as duas últimas coisas. O quarto da Pop eu olhei tudo.
It's a little inside it says, "To Fitz."
That poor
Looks pretty
healthy, but I think it would rather be outside.
Doesn't look soft. Doesn't look soft.
Tem nada
Oh,
nesse
wow.
quarto.
What?
It's a big empty space. Oh, wow.
Nossa, gente, não tem
It's
nada
a big
nesse
empty
quarto,
space.
mano. Como pode?
Quit sulking. Not every room is going to be full of clues.
O problema é que falta 3. O problema é que não tem nada no quarto deles que indica o que eles estavam fazendo.
The entire room is made of wood.
Oh, it's not just made. I think it's the actual hull of a ship. Yeah, it's, do you think there's a little crab living inside?
I hope so.
Isso aqui tá
It's a
quebrado.
barometer.
I've never seen a barometer that wasn't.
What is it?
He's an imp.
What does he do?
Well, if you tell too many.
Oh.
The entire room is made
No,
of...
it's not just. I think it's the actual hull of a ship. A pencil drawing of a mountain on a moonlit night.
Mood. The entire room is made
No,
of...
it's not just. I think it's the actual hull of a ship.
Shelf junk.
A little mirror.
Definitely cursed.
It's not cursed. Not everything is cursed.
A
Onde que
lot
ele
of
mentiu,
redundant light sources in
mano?
here.
O segredo é achar onde que ele mente no depoimento.
A map with a dotted line and an X marked on it.
That's a very boring way to describe a treasure map.
É porque o que eu acho é que o dele tá conectado com o do Fritz. Por causa dos passinhos. Só que como que eu vou provar isso? Eu já peguei tudo. Não tem nenhum quarto faltando nada. Isso me lembra que o Ostravin sumiu, né? Aconteceu alguma coisa? Deixa eu ver o zap. O safado não me mandou zap, então eu não sei. Gente, eu preciso de 5 minutos de pensamento, só 1 minuto. Mano. Faz tempo já assim mesmo. Não, achei que ele ia voltar, né? Eu queria saber quem roubou os abafadores de ouvido desse homem. Essa tabela periódica também, viu? E se eu apresentar pessoas?
Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong? Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing? Recently.
Good. It's good.
Agora eu tenho que falar com todo mundo de novo? Não, porque eu já achei...
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
Eu já achei suspeito
No,
deles,
but
então
I
não
still see
preciso.
Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
She was always kind. To me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working. Sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside.
Ela faz o
She'd
vivário
say,
dela.
put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
Talvez ele deixe alguma coisinha
She
escapar.
questioned me.
About what?
My work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell. Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
Então nós
I'm
somos
not
dois.
sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know. Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone.
Sobre
Have you
ele.
met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, that's... It was a joke.
Ó o
I was
tato
joking.
social.
Oh, I see.
E todo mundo, né? Vamos tentar falar
There's
só.
something about
Opa!
Hawkshaw's handheld microscope.
Pronto, aí, ó.
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Já que eu tenho todas as pistas.
This little microscope thing? You said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense. If you knew what my client had asked me to find. Of course, I still have no
passarinho.
intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry, we already worked out what you're searching for.
Mano, você tá procurando aqui passarito. Mas eu não posso dizer assim. Ou será que ela tá procurando isso aqui? Ó, eu tenho 3 dúvidas. Pode ser isso, pode ser as frutas, mas as frutas ficam muito na cara, ou pode ser o pássaro. Eu vou tentar os 3. O primeiro pássaro.
That's not right.
Não.
That's not right. That's not right.
Agora fudeu, eu não sei. Ou é o besouro?
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So,
Foi
that's
ela
what
que
you're looking
roubou o
for in the
besouro do
greenhouse?
cara, mano.
This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
E não é um microscópio coisa nenhuma. A Fifi fala pra gente, isso aí é uma lente de telescópio.
It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
Aqui, ó. De acordo com a Fifi, usa uma lente telescópia. Então a ROXO
The
mentiu.
handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it. I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Hawkshaw, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
Muito rica.
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the
não.
Galaxy?
I wanted
A
to be
Imperadora da
astronomer.
Galáxia eu também
Really?
aceitaria.
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal
Hey,
with the
então,
little
amiga.
telescope?
A memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider
Oh.
it something of a planetary alignment.
Ele queria
I
saber
had
quem roubou o
hoped he
besouro.
might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your
A
suspect?
Freya.
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
Agora faz sentido, olha lá. O que contratou ela foi o Professor, então. Foi o suspeito dela, esse? Foi. Não, eu quero perguntar a ela sobre o pessoal também.
Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite.
Falta
I find her
dois.
rather embarrassing, little more than a spoilt child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse. Professor Pointer is a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself. What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
I'll say this. He's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse. But I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers. In secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. Freya
Ela
Fellow
falou uns trem
is of great
interessante.
interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
Os sinais de
I do not
assassinato.
wish to do your job for you, detective. 314 cases solved. 314.
E 14. Desculpa. Se
Considerably
até nós
intelligent,
identificamos isso,
and her
talvez a
powers
gente
of
tenha demorado
observation
pouco
are
mais,
enviable.
mas...
But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. Did you get anything useful out of him?
Não.
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps. An hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky.
Amigo, onde você está? Você está vivo? Nós fizemos grande progresso, você perdeu. Eu consegui abrir a harpa lá no jardim. Usando toda a minha capacidade genial. Vamos falar com o Félix. Não, é aqui.
Poppy's a good friend to my daughter. Always has been. I think they get on well because they're so different.
Different, like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
O William tava aqui. Ah, que pena. Mandou um abracinho pra ele por minha conta. Perdi muita coisa? Perdeu. É verdade, perdeu.
Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger. Always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle. And he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile. Percival Pointer. Good old... So, what do you reckon? See the
Eu apertei alguma
murderer?
coisa?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
Childhood friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival.
O Fitz.
Fitz? I don't trust him.
Eu também
He's
não.
slippery. Never commits to anything. Brain like an onion.
An
Félix tacando a
Did you
culpa
two
nos
have an
outros.
argument?
No, but my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young
Eu
woman.
tenho que perguntar pra Fifi sobre ele, porque todo mundo fala que ela não gosta dele.
Uncommonly skilled as an artist. But Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially recently.
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a look at it.
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around 3 years old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything at Tangle Tower.
Eu quero saber quem que é os pais dela, pra falar a
Quite
real.
the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Is that a real thing?
No, I just meant because we both wear, you know, red capes.
A dele é
Of
rosa.
a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning. She seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine. Supposedly ROXO is searching for some rare item. Something called the Golden Beetle.
Ah, ele
Honestly,
fala lá.
it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
You reckon?
Quite sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you know?
Because I would have heard of it. My daughter
Alguém tem que falar alguma
Fiona,
coisa suspeita
our
do
little
Félix.
burgeoning genius.
A na árvore da família
met
não
her?
tem, nós vamos olhar.
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over
Conta então.
Fiona.
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her. Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Oh, yes. Been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of 3. Always something of a lone wolf, you know?
Ah, ela é mais
Just the
nova.
way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company
Tem
of
nada de
other
errado
humans.
nisso.
Other humans?
Well, yes, other people, you know.
E ele?
You're the one currently basking in his presence. You tell me.
Let's move on.
There's something about
Opa.
Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
E se ele tiver trocado as tintas dele?
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
Eu acho que não é o pote de tinta dele.
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
Cadê as da Flora que eu peguei? Aqui, ó. Mas será que é ela? Vou testar.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Ah, aqui, ó. O símbolo. É o símbolo. É igualzinho. É igual ao pote de tinta vermelha do Félix. As tampas foram
Freya's
trocadas.
blue
Não, tá
paint
errado.
pot is exactly the same as Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it. Nope.
O rótulo das tintas é igual, mas não fala do rótulo. Não é o pote de tinta dela, não,
Freya's
é?
red paint pot. Almost. Maybe just change.
Será que é o amarelo?
Freya's yellow paint. That's
No.
not right.
Aqui, ó. O pote vermelho da Freya foi roubado e trocado pelo pote do Félix.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
Ah, tem sim. O outro tava cheio de sangue. Calma. É esse aqui. Esse pote de tinta estava cheio de sangue.
This red paint pot. Almost. Maybe just change. This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh,
Como que o Félix tinha um pote com sangue? Não, a Freya tinha.
Right. Fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know. Perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
Opa.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
É, isso foi tudo. Finalmente. A menina infartou e derrubou sangue nela quando ela caiu no chão. É uma possibilidade, né?
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
Não, né? Caralho. Calma. Será que foi a pazinha? Esse aqui tá difícil?
Paint from the paint pot was used to paint over. No.
Não, é esse aqui, ó.
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint over the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
Gente, esse aqui... E se foi isso aqui?
Blood from the paint pot.
No.
That's not right.
Acho que não tem nada a ver com as penas, não.
The painted.
Meu Deus,
That's
esse
not
aqui tá
right
me
either.
pegando.
The painted. That's not right either.
Calma. Será que foi uma faca e ninguém achou?
A real knife was designed. That's not right
Mas
either.
ninguém fala de faca, mano. Mas todo mundo fala dessa pazinha. Talvez a Freya tenha pintado sangue na tela ela mesma, mas da onde que ela tirou aquele sangue? E se foi isso aqui, ó?
Paint from the paint. That's
No.
not right either.
Qual que eu fui? Foi pra esconder a evidência, né?
Paint from the. That's not right either.
Calma. Ah, tá. Você tá falando é da dica, amigo. Não, agora que eu li a dica é diferente, né? Talvez eu tenha que completar a frase. Será que foi...
The painted flora.
No.
That's not right either.
Ou será que foi pra
The
distrair
painted
ela?
flora was designed. That's not right either.
Calma, esse aqui eu tenho que pensar, usar todos os meus miolos. Talvez tenha sido uma pena lá de fora, porque tava faltando uma pena, porque são 4 passarinhos.
A feather. That's not
Calma,
right
que eu tenho
either.
algumas dúvidas aqui.
A feather found outside. That's not right either.
Quais que são as outras?
A feather found. That's not right either.
É alguma coisa nisso aqui. Talvez o sangue do pote de tinta tenha sido usado para pintar a flora da pintura. Para aparecer uma
Blood
faca?
from the paint pot
Meu Deus!
was used to paint over the painted flora to resemble a bloody knife. That's not right either.
O único que faz sentido pra mim é esse.
Blood from the
Mas
paint
não é
pot.
ele.
Almost. Maybe just change one thing. Blood from the. That's not right either.
Pra provar a existência de mágica aqui, eu já tô consultando até ele. Tenta o que eu disse? Pintou com sangue pra parecer uma faca?
Blood from the paint pot was designed to match. That's not right either. Blood from the paint pot. That's not right either. Blood from the paint. That's not right
Não é,
either.
amigo, me desculpa.
Blood from the paint.
Não é,
That's
me
not
desculpa,
right
me
either.
sinto muito. Eu também tô achando que é alguma coisa assim, mas... Talvez a Freya tenha pintado sangue na tela ela mesma. Gente, não sei esse.
Blood from the paint. Almost.
Esse aqui me pegou.
Blood from the. That's not right either.
Tem que pensar, calma.
Blood from the paint pot.
Por
That's
que
not right
distrair a
either.
Freya também, mano? Não tem faca de verdade? Então não tem faca. Em momento nenhum alguém fala de... Quer dizer, eles falam que parece um ferimento de faca, mas que não tem faca nenhuma. E se tivesse sido essa pazinha, hein?
The painted ink. That's not right either.
É porque eu tô achando que o objetivo é falar que não era a faca. Quer dizer, que a pena não era Tava ali pra distrair da verdadeira arma do crime.
The painted... That's not right either.
Nós estamos tentando pensar no que a Freya queria fazer. Por que ela pintou com sangue? Porque, ó, talvez ela tenha pintado o sangue na tela ela mesma, mas por que ela fez isso? Eu também deduzi que é isso que a dica quis dizer. Gente, esse aqui... A personagem até disse que só precisava trocar uma coisa. Ah, não, mas eu acho que isso aí é frase aleatória, né? Não? Vê cá. Ah, eu não quero uma dica. Não, eu não quero uma dica. Ah, não, é porque é aqui.
Paint from the paint pot. That's not right either. Paint from the paint pot.
Deixa eu ver se muda.
That's not right either.
Não muda. Não muda, então talvez eu tava no momento certo. Mas o que eu fiz? Eu não lembro. Vamos tentar de novo então, os que eu já fiz.
Paint from the paint pot. That's not right either.
Não.
Paint from the paint pot. That's not right either.
Eu acho que tem a ver com isso aqui, ó.
The painted... That's not right either. The painted ink dip... That's not right either. Blood from the paint pot. Almost.
Ó,
Maybe just change one thing.
eu acho que é alguma coisa aqui mesmo.
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or
Amém. Não
relieved.
sei se nós somos meus burrinhos ou se era difícil mesmo.
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Sim, a pessoa
Flora's the
pintou pra
only
parecer
person who
uma
could have hidden the
faca.
feather,
Como ela viu que
unless someone took
parecia.
it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what, and more interested in the how.
É verdade,
The angle
todos
of
eles
Freya's wound
comentam.
suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with the painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
Eu esqueci o que eu ia falar. Ai, amigo, é porque você não viu muita coisa, mas o que acontece? Tem esse quarto aqui, ó. Tem um sótão diretamente em cima do quarto da Flora. E tem essa rachadura perfeita que dá exatamente em cima da ferida da Freya. Exatamente em cima. E nós descobrimos que esse senhor aqui ficava observando ela o tempo inteiro. Não falta o depoimento do Fitz. A gente não pegou o suspeito dele, não? Sério? Caralho, é verdade. Não, não. Vamos conversar com todo mundo dessa torre. Com quem que eu tava falando antes? Eu terminei de falar com ele, né? Eu quero saber por que a Fifi não gosta dele. Que estranho, me deu a opção de fazer. Eu achei que eu tinha pegado todos.
Name, Fitzfellow. Age, 24. Profession, cryptobotanist. Likes soil, dislikes electric lights.
Hang on.
Acabou meu chá.
Cryptobotanist? I thought he was just a gardener.
That may well be his preferred label. Mine, however, is more accurate.
Do you and Fitz not see eye to eye, Fifi?
We do not.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. He's well over 6 foot and you've got to be just barely 5.
So what's your problem with him?
Exactly 1 week ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid detection.
So?
He was also carrying a knife.
Você resolveu o caso, Fifi. Parabéns.
Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, Apparently, Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Ai.
Name, Penelope Pointer. Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. Likes, birds. Dislikes, insects. Notes, Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her. Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, artist. Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me.
Não é verdade,
There it
Fifi.
is.
Eu gosto muito de
Freya,
você.
who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became, 1, increasingly independent, and 2, increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The 3 of you are friends.
We are of a similar age, and all highly gifted. 1 scientist, 1 artist, and 1 musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
Perguntar
Name,
todo mundo.
Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none. Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No? Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the 2 possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No. He is
Imagina,
quite
a
correct.
Fifi gosta da Penny, que gosta do Fitz, que gosta da Pop e é amiga da Fifi. Assim, eu apoio a Penny ficar com a Fifi. A não ser que a Fifi só... A Fifi é maior de idade? Se for, tudo bem. Se não, não pode não, porque a Penny já tem 27.
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44. Profession,
A
unknown.
Flora só tem
Likes,
44? Tá na
unknown.
flor da idade.
Dislikes, Unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting non-verbal communication.
And how long has Flora been non-verbal?
A Flora tem
She's always
58,
been
ela tem
quiet.
44.
Willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond.
O passarinho dela morreu, ela ficou muito triste.
Name, Haksha. Age, unknown. Profession, private detective. Likes, quote, being left alone. Dislikes, quote, being constantly badgered by a weirdo nerd with a clipboard.
E o
Name,
Pointer?
Percival Pointer. Age, 57. Profession, none.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
Oh yes, of course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me.
There's something about the
Opa.
report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower. Something suspicious.
É agora.
Let's ask him
Eu vou
about it.
descascar ele. Mal posso esperar. Você é culpado e está preso.
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower. Holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
Só viveu
How
pra
did
este
you know
momento.
that?
A guess.
Estou aqui pra
She
isso.
doesn't like me very
Aguentei
much.
até aqui
But
pra
yeah,
isso.
she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
A única coisa, isso aqui, ó.
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to
É a
take it up
pazinha.
Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
Por que você não usa? Ó, pode ser... Tô arrumando, gente. Pode ser tanto no quarto da Pop quanto no quarto da Penny. Porque as duas moram na torre dos Pointer. Será que existe um motivo pro Fitz subir a torre Pointer com a pazinha? Porque ele tava no jardim. Talvez a pazinha presente da Penny. A pazinha é um presente da Penny. Ela fala que ela deu de presente pra ele, mas nunca viu ele usando. Ele não tava no jardim. Ele tava subindo a torre dos Pointer.
An ornate... Nope.
Não. Esse vaso agora tá me deixando encucado. Se tiver alguma coisa enterrada aqui.
An ornate... That's not right.
Será que o Fitz precisa tomar conta de uma planta?
An ornate... That's not right either.
E não é no quarto da Pop, é no quarto da Penny.
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
Já tá pronto a janta?
That flower,
Yes?
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
Ué, ele é o único que gosta de flor aqui? Algo a comparar diretamente com o vaso de flor do quarto da Penny. Eu tô entre a carta e esse vaso. Talvez o vaso?
Let's take a closer look at these.
O vaso é o mesmo. O vaso e a terra. No quarto da Penny combina com o vaso e a terra encontrado na estufa
The
do
pot and
Fitz.
soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse. Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
É?
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again, when she's not there. Water the flower, change the soil. Just trying to keep it alive.
Are we done?
Are we done?
For now. It's about time we found out what's beneath the garden.
Aguenta aí. Deixa eu conferir aqui sobre a janta. É pra ir jantar agora? Não sei, é por causa que tá no, acho, no final do game. Não sei se termina hoje ou amanhã. Por favor. Gente, só um minuto que eu vou ver aqui se tem janta, né? Porque se tiver, nós vai parar aqui antes de eu entrar lá no lugar, lá no secreto. De longe é igual a Penny? Eu diria que mais ou menos a uns 28 metros de distância, praticamente em outra cidade, realmente. Aí eu vejo uma semelhança mesmo. Agora que você comentou. Talvez seja, né?